Shalom, 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 shalom. Of course, first and foremost, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Of course, giving double honors to our apostles, elders, a great millstone, shalom and salutation to all you sincere Akims who cross the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. Alright, hey, this is the DC camp. Alright, I'm the brother Kasamagan.
The brother Yakanan.
That's right, so I got the young brother Yakanan. And we just want to make a video, man, going into a topic. And it's kind of like admonishment and also nurture and admonishment, exhortation. Something that definitely needs to be brought up always. It's not a new topic. It's nothing new, but repetition. Repetition is the key to learning. And we all go through this. I've been in this truth. All of us go through this as men. I mean, even in the world, you got men in the world that go through this. But the thing is, we only worried about men in the Lord, how we moving, all right? Because we can't really compare ourselves to the men of this world. And the title of the video is the steak worth the sizzle, right? And what does that mean by that? And then the second part of the title is embrace the drought. All right, so I have to explain, what I mean by it's the steak worth the sizzle. Now, when you're dealing with men and women and that relationship going that we have, it's a powerful thing. It's a natural thing that the Heavenly Father established. You know what I'm saying? But even then, when you come into the gospel, we have a mission. The mission is what? The mission is worship Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, right? Establish the truth in the gospel in faith, right? And what? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Prophesy and wait patiently for the salvation. Okay? Now, as men, the scripture speaks about the glory of a man, which is the woman, so we have that attachment. So in this case, the woman will be the steak, all right? And you like, hey, brother, I love steak. I love steak. You love. I don't eat it that much. It's because meat, the way it sticks on you. But you like a good little T-bone. You know what I'm saying? Sirloin steak, and it's a luxury. It's expensive. It tastes good. But now the sizzle is the heat, meaning the aftermath. What comes with that? Okay, when things go south. Okay, because sometimes what happens to all of us, and again, this goes to all of us, what happens to all of us in situations, because we all dealt with women. We all been in that situation. And guess what? We're going to continue to deal with women because we're men. All right, but we always got to be reminded of how to deal and knowing that this is a distraction. And sometimes you're going to have to be in periods where you're not dealing with women. And that is also the work of the Lord. So you have to embrace that. All right, so we're going to, again, it's not going to be long. We're going to hit some precepts, hit the point, man, because again, brothers know what we're talking about, but it still has to be put out there for all of us, because I'm talking about something I just been through when I looked at a steak, and I felt like after a while it wasn't worth the sizzle, so I had to let go of the steak, and we all got to go through these situations. We all got to make these decisions, man. All right, so you had any opening precepts?
Yeah. I got.
Cause I had a free precepts, brother. I want what you got off the top?
Yeah, Proverbs 31. And
I had Proverbs. You know what? I tell you what. Since I already have that, let's just go over these precepts. Let's start with Sirach, the second chapter.
Okay.
Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. Buckshot. And it's tough. I mean, it's tough. It's crazy because I was even talking to one of the younger brothers today, and we were just talking about how you always end up in situations, and something also I thought about when you're in this gospel. I would say about half, right? About 5 out of 10 of the trials and tribulations that you're gonna go through. I've been in this truth. I'm speaking as a man who's put in a little bit of time through the Spirit. What you call, a little bit of experience. You realize about 5 out of 10 of your issues are going to come from dealing with women. All right? Because why is that? Because our women, for the most part, they are in this world, okay? And it was meant to be that way. For the most part, they are in this world. So they're not going to really truly understand your goal, your mission, what you're trying to accomplish. They're not in the same wavelength. Most of them are not in the same wavelength. And that's just how it was set up. Okay, because what happens is that you get with these women and it's frustrating. It frustrates you that they're not in the same wavelength. But that's also what gives you that that hunger for a better kingdom, right? For a better establishment, which is the establishment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So you're never comfortable, right? Because you get into these relationships, you get into these situations, and they constantly fail. They constantly fail. And when every time they fail, they bring trials and tribulations, drama, all types of, flip your whole world upside down type stuff. 5 or 6 times out of 10, that's what they bring. Then the rest is the finances, right? Finances, what else? As finances, your own individual, your own self issues, and then of course you have the brotherhood. Those are the things that you deal with in the truth, that you're gonna have to constantly deal with in rotation when it comes to trials and tribulations. The woman, the finances, well, yourself, the woman, the finances, and the brothers. How you deal with brothers and in that relationship. All right, so you have to be aware of these things. Go ahead, hit it.
This is Sirach chapter 2, and I'll start at 1.
Go ahead.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
That's right. So remember these things that I named, because these are the things you're going to be dealing with. All right, being in this gospel, all of us still, regardless. If you've been in this. Now, I would say the older you are in this truth, the older elder brothers, they don't really trip off the woman like that. But if you're a man in your prime, this is going to happen. All right? If you in your prime, the Most High comes to you in what? In your youth. Ecclesiastes 12. Right? He comes to you in your youth, in your prime years. In your prime years, you know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get it. This is innate. This is your nature. You're trying to get it. You're trying to plant your royal oats, what I'm saying, into as many vaginas as possible. Yeah. Okay? And the thing is, that's just how we were built. But the thing is, we also understand there's something that supersedes our sexual nature, right? Our sexual appetite. Okay? And also, not only the sexual appetite, our want and need for companionship. Feminine companionship. And that's where the drought comes in. This is all part of the temptation that we got to deal with. The men out there in the world, they deal with similar things because they also, they also want that.
They're also men. Yeah.
But the difference is they don't have the mission we got. We got the whole, through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we have a duty. We have the whole nation, beginning with the elect, on our shoulders. Us hopeful elect, right? Hopeful 144. We have a duty, and with duty comes sacrifice, right? So it's not about, you cannot enjoy yourself at all. The reality is you just will not enjoy yourself at the rate that the men in this world do. Exactly. That's what's called a sacrifice. Because if we wouldn't so-called enjoy ourselves the same way they do, then what would be the difference? It wouldn't be no difference.
It wouldn't be no difference.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what you're getting at.
This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Right? Prepare thy soul for temptation. And temptation comes in many ways. All right? The main ways of temptation is the woman. All right? And it's going to explain. Paul spoke about the woman. The woman is a natural distraction. Now, you'd be like, well, damn, is that? But see, the thing about distractions aren't always bad.
They're not.
There's two sides to everything.
Yeah. You
got good distractions and you got bad distractions.
Yeah.
So whatever the individual is, you got to ask yourself, is this a good distraction or is this a bad distraction? You'll know, because a bad distraction is something that takes you away from your main goal.
Exactly.
A good distraction is something that from season and times will be there just to comfort you, pleasure you, but you still got to get back to the main goal. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you have to be able to juggle and to maintain and to balance. That's the word, the balance in this truth. You got some words, brother?
Because, just like, the Saquon was saying, that's something that you would have to balance. Overindulgence in anything, anything that would tempt you, when it says, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, and that goes into all aspects, but mainly the women, because like the Zaquan said, we have an innate need as men to want to plant our seed in as many women as possible, especially the younger ones.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's exactly why this has to be spoken of in the first place, because it's something that every brother can relate to.
Yeah.
You know, every brother can relate to having, having experiences with women that may have hindered them. You know, there's been women that taken kings down. You know.
And we got the precepts to go over and prove that.
You know all throughout history, documented and
women is scary. I was talking to the younger brother earlier, and one of the things that I said is, because brothers that are around me already know how I feel about the Queen of Heaven, how wary I am when it comes to women. I mean, all the partners that I personally had, they never felt like they could ever get closer to me. Why? Because when you read these scriptures, you understand. And when your partner, so-called partner, is not in the same wavelength, meaning they don't fully understand the goal, the mission, and what you dedicated your life to, you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have trust issues that's gonna happen. You're gonna have dramatic events that's gonna happen. And in this world, when things go left, they usually end up with the bigger end of the stick. All right, and that's why I always encourage, don't get too close. Like the brother said, they took down Solomon. So and Solomon was the wisest king. All right, and they took him down. Solomon indulged in a whole lot of craziness. He said it. He indulged into a whole lot of stuff. Yep. But it's that woman that's still the women. That's what got him. So you as an Israelite man, unless you feel like you're better than Solomon, you better beware. All right. Mm-hmm. Again, of course, you got sisters that listen. The whole listeners, the sisters, the women in Israel that get it, right? This really is a concern. This is really towards the men. Mm-hmm. All right, this is really towards the men. Only men understand this type of talk. And that's really who this lesson is going towards. Now go to Sirach chapter 36 and 22.
It's Sirach chapter 36.
Most of these scriptures I have are really in the Apocrypha. I think the last two are from 88 books. Yeah, alchemy it's important. It's very important, especially the drought part. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. Brothers have to understand that Yahweh Shem Shai, whether you know it or not, the Lord said that He is involved in the affairs of men. Yahweh Shem Shai is in total awareness. He's the one who sets up who you date, who you meet. You was talking about that. I was like, sometimes you get into these periods of droughts and you try to force the issue, right? Because the scripture says it's not good for a man to be alone. So as much as we have the brotherhood, we're around each other as men, but we know what the touch and the feel of a woman is like. And that's something that you can only, it's a different type of energy. And that's something you can only really get from an actual physical woman. But if you don't balance it out, the Most High is very well aware of all our relationships. The Most High is He's the ultimate a matchmaker. So when you out here making moves, you're like, ooh man, I got this because my swag was like this. And no man, it all had to do with a pre-written, predestinated setup from Yahweh Shem Shai. That's why you had certain women you would talk to and do and it just wouldn't work. They just ain't with it. Why? It ain't you. It's just all set up like that. Yeah. So if you know that the Yahweh Shem Shai is so heavily involved into your life, even to your dating life or who you dealing with and all that, you know what I'm saying, then understand He's gonna want to create a path if you're a part of the elect that's gonna be conducive to you finishing your mission. Alright? That's something I didn't want to. There was a time I was like, nah man, how I deal with the women and all that, I know the Most saying, well, he ain't tripping about that. He ain't Yeah, I talked to the young brother, Sean Wilder. We was talking. It's like you understand after a while. There's not if you're a man of the Lord, man, the Most High knows exactly who you're dealing with, how long it's gonna last, if it's gonna last. He knows all of it. He's fully involved. And when those things get in the way of the mission, that's when he's gonna start having problems. Yeah, that's why. And right quick, that's why you eat that steak. We talked about it, you eat that steak. If that steak is too hot and it's burning your mouth, you gotta let that steak go, man. You gotta let it go. And say pass up and be like, you know what, I'm good. You have to be able to do that. We always talk about being an alpha male, and alpha means first. Okay? It means first. And then if you come in first as a man, what is your duty as a Hebrew Israelite? It's to serve your house shot, just like your house shot serve the Heavenly Father of your house. Once everybody falls in line, guess what? Then the women gonna fall in line in the due time. But we not even waiting for that, because that's truly what it means to have that mindset. You worry about what you're supposed to worry about. Everybody else gonna worry about what they're supposed to worry about. Everybody else gonna fall in line. All right.
And I was just gonna say, you know, whatever comes between you and your mission, you know, that's when it becomes a test.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
When a woman or anything else comes in between your mission or becomes an obstacle, that's when it becomes a test.
That's right.
You know, and how you're supposed to handle that is ask yourself, how is this benefiting me in my mission, and do I need to cut it off?
Yeah, man.
You know,
that's real, brother. We all been there. We've all had to make those tough choices. We've all had to make those decisions, man. I mean, I know plenty of instances where I held on to the steak way too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That steak was good, you know what I'm saying? But it was bringing me way too many problems. I held on to that steak way too long, man. And I got some bumps and bruises. So now, over the years, you know what I'm saying, I've learned to just let the steak go, man. I learned to let the steak go, because sometimes it ain't worth it ain't worth the sizzle, that heat. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna come if you hold on to it too strong. You know what I'm saying? And those are words of advice, not only for, you know, me, but for all of us, because we all go through this. We're men. But
this is Sirach chapter 36, verse 22.
Go ahead.
The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance.
Yeah, this is why we love women, man. Talking about, oh, GMS don't love. Hell yeah, we love women, man. Especially when it's the beauty of a woman, and not only the exterior beauty, but the inner beauty. You know, when you really truly meet a woman and she has that soft energy, that feminine essence, and on top of that, she looks good. Man, that's gonna make you feel good. You know, you get out of slavery and stuff like that, man, and you look at her, you're like, you know.
Yeah, women are likened to a pillar of rest.
Like,
you know?
Like, okay, you know, like, yeah, I had a bad day. And if women have that type of women, that's one of the powers that women have.
Yeah.
Is the ability to make a man feel good about a shitty ass day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons why we love them. So of course people want to be around them, but there's a season and time for everything. There's a time and a place. Balance to that. What comes first? Priorities. All right. And it's good, and we all fall short, but we always got to catch ourselves every time we get to that space. So read it again.
This is Sirach chapter 36, verse 22.
Right.
The beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. And a man loveth nothing better.
Go ahead.
If there be kindness, meekness, and comfort in her tongue, then is not her husband like other men.
Yo, the scripture said, "Man loveth nothing better."
Yeah.
That's the reason why. What did I say? I say 5 out of 10, which 5 is almost damn near half.
Yeah.
5 out of 10 of your issues gonna come through what? The woman, because we love nothing better than half that. But the thing is, we are in a time of pain and sacrifice, and you know, and not getting what we want. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough. And it's tough. And that's when the other side of it, which we're gonna go into that's when the other side of it, which is the drought, comes in. You know, because you get in a little period where you ain't nobody fooling with you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I rack up 10 phone numbers, and they all know nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just nothing. And you like, damn. And then you get into this drought, and the thing with droughts is that sometimes it pushes you to try to be desperate.
Yeah.
Get with women you know you have no business getting with. Calling people you ain't got no business calling. People that you told yourself, man, I moved on from this steak.
Yeah.
And then you gonna call back this old steak.
It wasn't even that hot.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You don't call why? Because you got no steak. But the thing is, you also have to learn to just live without steak, man.
Exactly.
I mean, for a season, however long that is, because everything happens for a reason. Maybe there's that time where the Most High wants you to hunker down and really focus on the word and just level up. And I've always said this, man, it's hard to level up when you got a woman around you like that, when you got women around you like that. A lot of times level ups happens when you're in situations where you're in that drought.
When you're uncomfortable.
When you're uncomfortable, you're in that drought, you really focus, and you know, that's where level ups happen. That's where you get enlightenments, man. You get enlightenments through pain, through suffering,
struggle.
through sacrifice, through struggle. When things are pleasurable, man, you don't learn shit. When was the last time you learned something in a pleasurable moment?
You don't.
You
That's fun time.
Yeah, it's fun time.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't gonna think. We ain't gonna if anybody around you start thinking too much, you're like, man, we out here having fun, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't get no epiphanies when you're out here. You just having fun. But you get epiphanies and enlightenments when you struggling out here, man. All right. So still like 25, 21. You know, and again, this goes for all of us. You know, and everything that you know, we send through the spirit is things we've been through. I've been through countless times. You know what I'm saying? Very, very high moments and very, very low moments. You know, and it's true. But you know, over the years, you kind of realize, okay, when did the level ups happen? A lot of times, the level ups happen when I was in these situations that were very, very low. And that goes for all of us, because the Most High, when He sees the suffering of the saints, it brings them pleasure, because we're willing to sacrifice for the greater cause, which is the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Israel, of Yasha Allah, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Go ahead.
It's Sirach chapter 25, verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure.
Right, so stumble not at the beauty of a woman. So, and just don't desire the woman just for sexual pleasure. You know, the reason why I state that, because of course it depends on the situation of mindset that you're in. You know, we don't just go out, because you have to be very careful, because you know, when you bring in a woman is actually it's a person.
Yeah.
You know, they have a spirit, they have a mindset, it's people they've dealt with. You don't know what you're bringing in. And I was watching a video earlier. Me and a brother was talking about the alpha-onomy.
Yeah, that's his channel.
The alpha-onomy dude. I mean, I just found his channel today. And he was just going there like, yo, it's true. You can't just let any type of woman inside your temple, or you going inside her temple like that. You gotta figure out who you dealing with, man. You dealing with a crazy head and all. You gotta know these things, man, because what she could do, she could bring damage to your life. And we've all been there. All right, brothers can attest. We all attest to that. You picked the wrong one, that you up for a roller coaster. And like I said, at the end of that, a lot of times she get out unscathed, and you get out of there with bumps and bruises.
Yeah. It even says that even going on in this chapter. You know, Sirach, the 25th chapter, you know, would tell you almost everything that you need to know about how to deal with women. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big part of, you know, being a man. You know, it's like we said earlier. You know, especially if you're a younger man and you're dealing with women. You know, that's a big part that you need to learn. You know what I'm saying? To be able to know how to maneuver also in this truth. You know, because let's say you're trying to do things, you know, in the truth, but you have this woman that's doing everything to keep you out of it. You know?
Yeah, man. It's not bueno. And the thing is, women are very possessive in this society, because women are moving on the masculine. They have a masculine energy, which is a masculine energy. It's a very possessive energy. All right, that's when you want things, you dominate things, and which is off. You know, so so when you have two masculine energy work, it won't work. That's why a lot of relationships in the nation of Israel fail. Why? Because our women, all the tribes, beginning with the so-called black women, so-called Judah women, they're very masculine. And when you wake up to your masculinity, you know, there's a clash. But then when they're masculine and they're dealing with men that are feminine, they may be strong, because you got strong, bulky, big-time dudes that can fight, but they have feminine energy. Then that's how they end up being in a relationship. You're like, well, damn, those are successful relationships. Yeah, to have a successful relationship, one has to be the masculine, the other one has to be the feminine.
And you'd be able to tell it off the bat, just off of straight body language.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so us, we're men, we have the masculine energy back from Yahweh Shemal Shah.
That's right.
Understand that most of these women you're going to clash with. Most of those relationships are going to fail. As long as this society stays and the Queen of Heaven is running around, you know what I'm saying, having people sign up to OnlyFans and put money just to see a woman, you know, and giving them, making them rich.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, you can't hold on to nothing in this society, man. The Lord told you that. Don't hold on to nothing in this society. Everything that's here is going to pass away, man.
Man, that just made me think. You know, that just goes to show you, women are rewarded for being the more masculine, more wicked, you know, of the two right now. You know, nowadays you have women getting rich, you know, making whole lifestyles from from the things that they used to be stoned for.
That's right, being degenerates. All right, brother, let's get to it's still about 25. We'll jump to 24.
24? Con. This is Sirach chapter 25. Oh, slack. This is Sirach chapter 25, verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die.
And see that? Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. So you have to understand that women have a threshold of wickedness that's higher than us. Why? Because women would not impart intelligence and joy. They would not impart understanding nor judgment. So they don't have the substance. And also, most women are raised without accountabilities and consequences for their actions. So they feel like they can do and say anything and get away with it. And if you do anything about it, then you know that's going to happen. Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks, so he's going to do his thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's why when you notice that the steak, like I said, when you notice that the steak is too hot and ain't worth the sizzle, man, let the steak go. And we've all been there. It's tough decisions. Sometimes it's easy. If you're not really attached to the steak, you'll let that steak go. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, block.
Yeah.
But certain steaks just taste better than others. And you won't want to hold on as much as you can, but sometimes there's going to be time, you know. And then if you don't, there's going to be things that's going to happen to make you have to let go. Yeah. And the Most High, if you're part of your elect, the Most High, like I said, he's going to intervene into your life on every single level. To make sure you get back onto the right path, right? Because it's all about leveling up, It's all about the level up and becoming perfect as Yahweh Shai is perfect, which begins with dedication to the gospel. All right. Jump down and say, what's it? Give her a bill of divorce.
Oh yeah, Con. That was the one I was holding.
Get that.
This is Sirach chapter 25, verse 26. It says, "If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go."
Yeah, man, cut the steak, man. Cut the steak. You know what I'm saying? Tell the waiter, hey, man, waiter, it's time to get this steak out of here, man. Get this stuff out of here, man. Yeah. I need something else. I ain't like my man, New Jack City, Nino Brown. Remember when old girl, his wife was talking all kinds of garbage because they had just gotten a shootout out there in the park with the kids. So she was bugging out. And he just grabbed champagne, man, poured that on. He was like, man, cancel this bitch. I'll order me another one. And that was the mindset. Like, you gotta, like, yo, time to cancel. I'll cancel you. I get something else. All right? And that's the reality. And sometimes you cancel and you may not get nothing for a minute. Yeah. That's where that whole drought comes in. And brothers got to be comfortable with just embracing the drought, because these are big, important spiritual times in your life when you're going through these droughts, when you cannot satisfy your sexual appetite or your natural urge for female companionship. And we speak in experience. I wouldn't be talking about something I don't know. We don't speak about things we don't know. If we didn't know what we was talking about, we laid our hands in our mouth like the scriptures say. Yeah. All right?
And that prepare you going forward, you know, especially in the times that we're coming to, where we're going to have to be able to cut off all attachments if need be, you know? Because this really all goes back to really attachments, you know, and how dependent you are for any type of companionship, whether it be for woman or if it be for family, or all of that.
Well, that's another thing. Let me go back, because the things that I said that would give you problems in the truth is the woman, yourself, finances, the family, and then brothers. All right, and when I say problems, when I say brothers, I'm talking about the ups and downs in the brotherhood. And learning how to be with brothers and be brotherly and so on and so forth. So those are things you're going to deal with. But family is definitely a part of it. The water for saying bringing that up. So yeah, but we're going to close out soon. Let's get Proverbs 31:3. You know, and it's a tough thing, man. I mean, you don't really, because there's so many things that about this truth that to talk about. You know, getting the prophecy and the history. There's so many topics, but this topic right here is always something we always cannot be too sensitive to talk about, you know, because you can't, you know, when it comes to offenses are called, an actual offense is a stumbling block. You know, an offense and a stumbling block is actually, if you're not helping your brother, you actually letting him stumble. You really offending him without knowing. You know what I'm saying? Now he ain't gonna say, "Hey, I'm offended," because he don't know. But if you see, yo, man, this is, you don't say, you're not being your brother's keeper, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that we talk about these things. You know what I'm saying? We're able to talk about it so we could, be on point when these things happen, when these situations arise.
Because no problem is too little. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Because you know how some people feel, oh, it's just a woman.
Yeah, The
Nah.
woman is a big. As a matter of fact, a woman is a big problem.
Big problem.
The majority. I look in my personal journey in this truth so far. Most of the issues, most of the trials and tribulation I went through, a woman was some way somehow attached to it. I can link that up to a woman that I dealt with. Not all, but most. It's just and Paul's gonna tell you what. But let's go on Proverbs first.
This is Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 3.
Go ahead.
Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to which destroyeth kings.
Yeah, your strength is your leverage. All right, and you don't have much leverage in this world, man. This world is giving most of the leverage to the woman. That's how I set up our Edom, Esau, through the spiritual demon, Satan. Our enemies, and then so they gave leverage to the women, or strength to the women to crush us. Alright, so always understand that. We understand that. So therefore, when you have leverage, don't give the leverage to the woman. Don't let her have the ability to tell you what to do and move you around and move you off your spot, man. That's your leverage. Staying, like they say in the world and in your generation, and 10 toes. Is that 10
toes down?
10 toes down. Yeah, man. Yeah. So you gotta do that. That's your strength. Besides that, what else do you have? Alright, we not rich men. What we have is our integrity.
Yeah, calm.
And our faith in Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's our leverage. Alright? So we ain't gonna let nobody move us away from that leverage, from our strength. Alright? So let's go to 1 Corinthians. We're gonna close out with this.
Calm.
1 Corinthians chapter 7. And I'm gonna just tell you where to read and where to jump to.
Calm.
Chapter 7 started read from 6 through 9.
Calm. This is First Corinthians chapter 7, and I'm gonna start at 6. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment.
Right. So when we speak these words, it's by what?
Permission.
Permission. All right. So we permitted through the Spirit to speak these words and really going off of experiences. All right. And we got the same words from our apostles. They listen. I remember coming up, and it's true. That's constantly being hammered with this. You know what I'm saying? Constantly being hammered with this. Go ahead.
Verse 7. For I would that all men were even as I myself.
Right, so we're not gonna tell the man, yo, don't deal with women. I've always said, I always spoke even to the older brothers. I speak to them. I'll never tell the man don't deal with women at all.
Yeah.
Because the reality is you learn a lot by dealing with women.
Yeah.
So it's never because Yahweh Shah said, fear not, I overcame the world. He didn't say, fear not, for I ran away from the world. So I'm not going to tell a man, run away, don't deal, just hide yourself in a cave somewhere. It's just know when the state is presented, just know what comes with that.
Come on.
Okay? Just know what comes with that. Be prepared. All right? That's always my advice. Go ahead.
For I would that all men were even as I myself. But every man have his proper gift of God, one after this manner, and another after that.
Right, because not every man got the same journey. Certain men are meant to have that woman.
Yeah.
Certain men are meant to have one or two. Then you got certain men that are meant to not have one.
Yeah.
To have none. When I say nothing, I'm saying for seasons, because I don't believe there's a brother out there being a eunuch like Paul right now, not doing nothing. I mean, the reason why is because this world is so overly sexualized. There's just no way. Yeah. Like when Paul was moving around, it wasn't women shaking their asses on top of a car that's driving, and women damn near naked. You know what I'm saying? So we dealing with a whole different level of degeneracy, man. All right, go ahead. Stop at verse 9.
Okay, verse 8. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry.
Right, meaning because the widows, this is young women, they're ready to get, they're in the flower of their age, they're ready to get it in. Puberty is kicking their ass. They gotta do what they gotta do. So what Paul said, you don't want these women to turn into whores, let them marry, meaning let them actually, find a husband. All right. so they can have a family and then enjoy sex, which sex is a part of having a family. That's as long as it's done the right way, sex is good. It's beautiful. It's one of the most genius. One of the most genius creations is sex, but it has to be done properly according to biblical laws. All right,
But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn.
Yeah, it's better to marry than to burn. Now look up the word burn. Go to blue letter, because I looked up that word burn, and that goes not only for the women, but that goes most importantly for us, the Israelite men. Yeah, you're gonna have droughts, you're gonna have seasons, but you ain't gonna have nothing, and that's fine. That's sometimes it means the Lord wants you to focus on the goal at hand, and sometimes like that. But then the drought ain't gonna be for at some point the drought is seasonal. At some point you gotta let that out, because I know what I've gone through droughts. Shit, I go through droughts, all the time. So it's like, but then you go through longer droughts, then you start to really feel, and you feel that high level of testosterone, to the point where it really almost gets out of hand, because then your lust also arises, and you start like I gotta do something about that, because you go around knocking somebody's head off. Somebody says something slight. That's another thing. The less you have that sexual intercourse, the more you have testosterone, the more you out here looking for smoke. Like you out here like, I wish a motherfucker would type shit. Because you're just in that mode. That's why fighters before a fight, they don't have sex, when through their training camp. Because when they step in the ring, they want to have that bull lion like mentality.
That's testosterone.
Right? But we as men of the Lord, we spiritual, we're not carnal. We can't move around in this world, in that mindset to want to knock somebody's head off when that's what it means by burning. And then having lust, excessive lust. Go ahead.
This is the word burn in the Edom Online.
Right.
And it says the transliteration, this is the Greek, it means pyro. And the outline biblical usage, it says to burn with fire, to set on fire, kindle, to be on fire, to burn, to be incest, ignite. Or do you want the Strong's definition?
Ignited. Yeah. See, it says to be fire, ignited. What's ignited? That mean that's when but after a workout, like you just like you just know, like you just you can feel it, you ignited, and then you like, yo, motherfucker, fuck with me right now. I'm gonna give him the business. Yeah. But you can't be in that mindset constantly, because that's a carnal mind. So that means you like, all right, cool. I gotta release some of this inside. That's when you like, okay, the burning part. Now right here in it says
the Strong's definition. Yep. This the Strong's definition. It says from to kindle, glow, ignited, glow, to be refined, or to be inflamed with anger, grief, lust.
You see that?
Yeah.
See that? You start having these anger, grief, lust. So you start, being walking around like a hothead, man, looking for problems. You ain't chilling, like you gotta chill, bro. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta tell her, dude, chill, man, chill, because he's just in that, so that's why I was like, listen, man, on the side, you go ahead and, do what you gotta do.
That's why jail, it's a different game in jail.
Man, that's right.
That's why there's wolves in there.
Man.
Because they went that long burning.
They're deprived. They're deprived. They're totally deprived. But it's all balanced, because part of being deprived and being in a drought, it also brings about the hunger and that we have to continue to fight and focus and we talked about wanting something better.
And that sharpness.
That's right. Let's go back to Corinthians, what I said. I jumped to 25. Jump down to 25.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 25.
Right.
Now concerning virgins, I have no commandment of the Lord. Yet I give my judgment as one have obtained mercy of the Lord to be faithful.
Keep going.
Verse 26. I suppose, therefore, that this is good for the present distress.
Right, and that's what it is. The thing is that understand that normally you'll want to have a wife and a family and all that, but Paul is basically telling you, listen, I'm telling you these things according to the present distress, the season in which we're in. No, this is not normal. Basically, Paul is telling you, like, the things that I'm telling you to do right now, in a perfect world where we in the kingdom, we would need to do all these adjustments.
Exactly.
We just having to do this. This is what you would need to do in the present distress, in the situation that you're in this captivity. Right?
I say that it is good for a man so to be.
Mm-hmm.
Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed.
Right. So if you got a wife, and again, it's not just any wife. If you have a wife, a woman that the Lord gave you, you know what I'm saying, and she wants to dwell with you, and she's a servant, a helpmate, and she's not giving you all types of crazy, mad drama and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you don't want to let that go, because when she let that go, you gonna go out there looking for another one. Yeah. And then you know the looking part. That's a hell of a
exactly.
Brother, you know what's the hardest, what's the most annoying part about getting a woman?
Trying to get the
woman. Yeah. You gotta sit there and ask her name and be like, golly, I gotta know all of this stuff. That's all you know.
When you burning, you just want one thing.
Yeah, man. So go ahead.
Yeah. And I'm gonna start back at 27. Yeah. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed.
Right.
Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not a wife.
Yeah, seek not a wife. So if you loose from a wife, don't seek a wife. Don't go out there. And again, even in that, it's balance, right? Because it depends on the situation. You gotta be spiritually circumspect of what's going on around you, spiritually, mentally, okay? Because a lot of times we seek women for pleasure because you're trying to escape from something.
Yeah.
If you're trying to, because sometimes the truth will kick your ass so hard, you gonna run and looking for a woman to find. No, the truth that's kicking your ass is the same place you're gonna find true comfort. So if you're seeking a woman, it shouldn't be because you seeking true comfort. Mm-hmm. All right, because true comfort only comes from the scriptures, man. All right, in this world, that's just the reality of it. All right.
Verse 28. But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned.
Mm-hmm.
And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned.
Go ahead.
Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in flesh, but I spare you.
That's right. And that's it right there. So, yeah, you don't say for going out there trying to get it on, but just Paul is saying, just know it's going to come. The sizzle. That's the sizzle.
That's the sizzle. Right
that,
there.
Just suffer in the flesh.
Yeah.
Like,
trouble in the flesh.
It's that sizzle that the steak is going to bring. Just know the steak is going to bring some sizzle. And sometimes you got to embrace the drought. It's seasonal, man. I mean, eventually, the Most High open things up. Sometimes for self-reflection, man. All right, that's just how it is, man. That's all I had, brother. You have something?
And just to say this, you know, that's why, you know, we wouldn't outright tell a brother, don't deal with women at all. You know, go your own way and such and so forth. Because
man.
You know that burn, you know that anger, you know that'll just build bitterness towards the truth.
You'll be out there fighting every motherfucker that say something slightly wrong. You built that much, you gotta burn that out somewhere. You gotta let that go. Yeah. And you can do all the exercise. People always say, well, go and lift weights and listen, man. For somebody who works out, you work out, brother.
Yeah, I work out.
It makes it worse. The more you work out, the more you build testosterone.
Yeah.
So that ain't necessarily the way you wanna, if it's time, you know it. You do what you gotta do, but never take your mind off the prize. The prize is Yahushua, right? Remember that. The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, is the end all be all. His Son, Yahushua, our Savior, deliverer, is the prize, okay, that we chase. All right, and guess what? We're the prize that these women are going to chase. All right, that's the reality. It's just all in due time. All in due time, man. So, with that, hey, we know, not just hope, we know you brothers, man, will edify, because that's really for the hopeful elect, the brothers that's out there fighting this good fight of faith, man. With that, we're going to say Kal Halal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Of course, give a double honor to our apostles, elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, salutation to you, Sensei Akims out there across the four winds, pushing this truth for sincerity of heart, man. Stay strong, stay faithful. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Shabbat Katam, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Shalom.
Shalom.